Hello and welcome to SOUndbyte. I'm Chantel Munoz.
And I'm Elliot Anderson. As many residents of Southern Oregon may be aware, the water outlook for this summer is not looking good. Sparse rainfall this winter and a lack of significant snowpack means many of the area's reservoirs are low. Governor John Kitzhaber has declared Jackson County a state of drought emergency at this time. The Army Corps of Engineers is in charge of Lost Creek and Applegate Lakes. They say that because of the recent rain, Lost Creek is actually full at this time, and Applegate is only 9 feet below average. But on the south end of the valley, things are not as good. Emigrant Lake and the mountain lakes are significantly below where they should be normally, with Howard Prairie resting at only 56% full. These lakes are also greatly impacted by snowpack levels, which are nearly non-existent. Tonight, we have team coverage of what the low water levels could mean for residents of the Rogue Valley and an outlook on the fire season this summer.
With the lack of water and things already being dry after winter, many are concerned about a severe fire season. SOUndbyte's Mark Wells spoke to the Oregon Department of Forestry to see just what we can do to prevent wildfire for the 2014 season.
With many days of rain left in southern Oregon and fire season still at a low, we turn to Oregon Department of Forestry's Brian Ballou for answers.
Forests in southwest Oregon are very dry. We didn't get much of a winter moisture recovery this year. So we're expecting the fire season to ramp up a little faster in the Siskiyou Mountain and the Coast Range side. And we've increased our detection capabilities with a couple of more towers on mountaintops that are outfitted with cameras.
But even with the towers feeding the information back to the Oregon Department of Forestry, what else can homeowners do to protect themselves?
We always work with residents who live in wildland areas to take the steps that are essential to help the firefighters to protect homes against wildfire damage. It means keeping a handle on mowing tall dry grass and weeds, minimum of 50 feet around all homes that are in those areas. It's a good idea to do it along the roadsides as well. We at the Oregon Department of Forestry do many site inspections at request, and we're more than happy to help folks out, but our colleagues in the Structural Fire Service are available as well.
For more information, contact the Oregon Department of Forestry. This has been Mark Wells with SOUndbyte.
Due to the minimal snow and rainfall, restricted water supplies could be expected early this summer for the city of Ashland. Dave Canner, the city administrator, said this month the snowpack was only at 9 inches. Julie Coberly, hydrologist for the Federal National Resources Service, said this is the first time all snow leveling stations have been snow-free. It is possible the city of Ashland will begin water curtailment starting as early as June 1st. City officials have encouraged citizens to not undergo any intense and heavy landscaping projects. In his letter declaring Jackson County a state of drought emergency, the governor says current conditions are being monitored by the Department of Agriculture, Department of Water Resources, and Oregon Office of Emergency Management. The letter also says, quote, "The dry conditions present hardships for these communities. Crops and agricultural and recreation investments are at risk. Animals and plants that rely on Oregon's surface water supplies are threatened, and the risk of wildfires across the state is greatly increased."
This year, Mount Ashland celebrated its 50th year of winter recreation in Southern Oregon, or at least they would have if a lack of snowfall had not forced the resort to stay closed all season. SOUndbyte found out what the closure means for the mountain and other local businesses affected by the dry winter. Mount Ashland has not been the only business suffering due to the lack of snowfall this year. Local businesses, including the Ashland Outdoor Store, have suffered from the resort's inability to open. Event coordinator David Chambers said that most of their revenue comes from rentals rather than the selling of ski gear. Chambers says the shop does this because of the tricky ski market in the area. However, this year, they have seen little to no profit for rentals at all.
See any revenue from the rental department, which is, it's pretty significant every year. So that's definitely affected our numbers for this year.
Chambers believes that Southern Oregon was hit the hardest by the lack of snow rather than any other areas in Oregon. It wasn't just the revenue from rentals that took a hit, but also their winter gear.
That lack of snow definitely affected our clothing sales and our glove sales, for example. We normally sell tons of gloves during the winter months and continuing on through the early part of spring. So we didn't really see many sales in those departments as a result of it.
This is the first time in Mount Ashland history that it has closed for a winter season. In an effort to save money, Mount Ashland let go of their general manager, Kim Clark, just last week. Next year's snowfall will determine if these businesses will continue to suffer. I'm Chantel Munoz reporting for SOUndbyte.
As summer approaches, many local growers in the Rogue Valley begin to worry that water resources may not be available to them for irrigation due to this year's drought. This week, SOUndbyte attended the Rogue Valley Growers and Crafters Market to speak with a local farmer about his project in the Applegate area and how the drought is affecting him and his business.
This past week, we tried to water both our crops and that riparian project and found that it was draining down our irrigation ponds a little too quickly, which was kind of a drag. So this year we're noticing up on Thompson Creek where we live some of the effects of a drought year.
The riparian project in the Applegate area has Josh Cohen conserving more water than he had done in the past. But because the Applegate has a larger watercourse and is regulated more often, Josh feels like they'll be okay this year. Focusing now on issues right here on campus, 2 weeks ago, Southern Oregon University President Mary Cullinan sent an email to students and faculty announcing she is considering a job position at another university. SOUndbyte followed up on the story and asked students what they thought of the news. In the 2 weeks since President Mary Cullinan announced she was entertaining job offers at other universities, the campus has been swept with rumors and concerns.
I think it's definitely an interesting time if you're going to leave to be, doing it during this time.
According to reports, Cullinan did not actually receive the job at Youngstown State University, but the fact that she was looking for a job after a vote of no confidence from the faculty has some students wondering what comes next.
So we're going through a lot of changes right now. Like, a lot of departments are coming together and things are changing. And so I don't know if the person who made the plan should stay and see it through, if that would work better under the leadership that thought it up, instead of just passing it off onto someone new and being like, oh, by the way, everything's changing, have fun. But at the same time, maybe that's what we need. We need somebody with new ideas who can come in and just kind of move the school forward.
President Cullinan released a statement today saying, quote, "I was happy to have the opportunity to visit the campus and go through the interview process. It's an interesting university with a lot of challenge and opportunity. Not all students viewed the announcement during a time of upheaval as a bad omen and seemed content with the state of the university."
I'm not too concerned about it myself, just because I think there's a lot of things that this university is doing correctly, and I think there's a lot of things that, I guess the direction that the university is going in, I think, is definitely a positive one. So, maybe we're going to hit a speed bump if problems arise because of this, but I honestly am not too concerned about it.
For SOUndbyte, I'm Elliot Anderson.
Over the past couple weeks, there has been lots of commotion in the science building on the SOU campus as it gets ready to undergo construction. SOUndbyte's Tim Williams got a closer look at the project.
In an attempt to make the campus more structurally sound in the event of an earthquake, SOU has begun seismic renovations on its science building. Along with the seismic precautions, the construction will also be replacing old piping, retiling old floors, and updating electrical wires. But first, in order to begin construction, there is the challenge of clearing out the building.
Everything has to be moved out of this building, and it's just amazing. You have no idea how much stuff there is in a building like this. not just offices, not just faculty offices, but the labs, the research labs, the teaching labs, all those kinds of things. It's just an amazing project to even think of undertaking, and that's what we're doing. So by the middle of July, everything will be out. We'll be moved over to Cascade. In the fall, we'll have to dig out and try to figure out where everything is so that we can get classes up and running, but that's the plan.
The Cascade, which used to be the food court, will now have the burden of housing all the science classes as well as their experiments. Even with the inconvenience caused by the move, teachers like Roger are still hopeful about the project.
I think it's a good project. I think it's something that we need now that we know that Oregon does have earthquakes and so forth. The state has been slowly trying to bring buildings and overpasses, all that kind of stuff up to speed, so that if we beat the earthquake, then maybe we'll be okay.
With all the delicate and heavy equipment that needs to be relocated, there's still plenty of work to be done before next year. For SOUndbyte, I'm Timothy Williams.
If you commute north or south on I-5 going between Medford and Ashland, you may have noticed some slow-moving traffic. Contractors working for the Oregon Department of Transportation started breaking ground on the I-5 corridor in late April and are expected to continue on until May 22nd. The traffic has a reduced speed limit of 50 miles per hour, while lane restrictions are reducing the freeway to a single lane in the Phoenix-Fern Valley interchange area.
It's been nearly 5 years since the new dispatch center opened up in Jackson County. SOUndbyte went out to get more updates on how this new 911 center is doing.
911, what's the address of the emergency?
After over 35 years of having two separate 911 locations, the emergency dispatch facility and public safety answering point were combined and finally moved to a brand new state-of-the-art facility. They now go under the operating name Emergency Communications of Southern Oregon. The building opened up in 2009. Director of ECOS Margie Mullen says the best part of this new location is the flow of information.
The fact that all of the people that are working out in the field are being dispatched from the same location, so the people that are taking the calls have the knowledge of what's going on and can quickly communicate the information back and forth.
Mullen explains the importance of this new center was vital, as dispatchers have a very serious and impacting job.
You know that you're affecting people's lives. I know that I work with incredible people that help people every single day. It's just very rewarding.
This center continues to grow as they have a new system called Text-to-Speech Radio Alert. This cuts seconds off emergency response by sending automated messages to police and fire stations during the 911 call. These improvements of a newer facility and faster technology can, in some cases, be the determinant between life or death. I'm Chantel Munoz reporting for SOUndbyte. Coming up, the Southern Oregon Arts and Research event begins today, and we have an exclusive interview with the organizers.
And we take a look at a student project focusing on the film industry here in Southern Oregon.
Over the past 100 years, films have been made here in Southern Oregon and the Northern California area. Independent and feature films have taken advantage of this beautiful location. Please join us for the next episode of The Jeffersonian, where we will be discussing the film industry in the state of Jefferson. Welcome back. I'm Chantel Munoz.
And I'm Elliot Anderson. Southern Oregon University is getting geared up for one of the biggest events of the year. With the college gearing up to participate and celebrate SOUR, the Southern Oregon Arts and Research, we thought we'd take a look back at where it all began. Started by President Mary Cullinan as a research day for students, SOUR quickly bloomed to cover the arts as well as the sciences. Now, 7 years later, Deborah Hofer, the grants administrator, says that the fledgling project has achieved substantial growth.
As it has evolved, it's grown. For example, in the first year, we had 115 participants, and these are not attendees, these are participants. Last year, we had 800.
SOUR is designed as a chance for students to show their work to the public and see themselves grow. This year's demonstrations will include science labs, art galleries, photography exhibits, and musical performances. SOUR is scheduled to take place on May 12th and continue through May 16th. If you would like to know more, you can visit SOUR's website at www.sou.edu/SOUR.
It's spring here in Ashland, Oregon, and the students of Southern Oregon University get yet another chance to show off their creative film projects. SOUndbyte's Rory Owens has the story.
The SOU Film Festival, currently in its 9th year, is organized annually by students willing to put in the time and effort. We spoke with Wendy Temple and Chazin Lovely about what to expect from students this year.
We have 6 categories: comedy, mockumentary, drama, psycho thriller chiller, music videos, basically a number of things to fit whatever students want to enter.
Yeah, I think we've actually broken a record for the number of submissions. I guess last year they only had about 12.
With over 30 video submissions, this year's film festival will take place over the course of 2 days, a first-time occurrence for the festival. On Wednesday, May 14th, the first part of the festival will be at the Varsity Theater in downtown Ashland. The second part will be held on Friday, May 16th. This will take place in the Meese Auditorium on the SOU campus in Ashland, next to the famous Schneider Museum.
What we're planning on is that the first night will be coverage of most of the films in the genres, given whatever time limit there is. Films that are not seen that night will be seen in Meese.
Film festivals in Oregon are popular among all ages, and students of SOU are trying their best to make an impact in film before they graduate. This is Rory Owens reporting for SOUndbyte.
If you would like any more information about the SOU Student Film Festival, visit Facebook, Southern Oregon University Student Film Festival, or go to Twitter at SOU Film Fest. The Student Film Festival is just one part of SOUR. Our very own Robin Fichter spoke with Paul Adalian, one of the organizers, about what else can be expected from this year's SOUR's event.
Hello, I'm Robin Fichter, and today we are joined by Paul Adalian, who is the Dean of the Hannon Library, but who has also been busy co-chairing the Southern Oregon Arts and Research event. So please tell us about this. This is a big deal.
Right,
Yeah.
This is the 7th annual SOUR event, Southern Oregon Arts and Research. We have over 500 participants this year. It is a huge event. It's a culmination of student research, performance, artistic achievement, and we cover a whole week. And so this week, starting today, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, there'll be events all across campus. We have a nice program with all the events, so people from off campus can come and see all the community projects that the SOU students are contributing to our local Rogue Valley area, which is pretty amazing. You'll be seeing a full-page ad on the Ashland Tidings that indicates all the projects that our local community can come out and talk to our students, what they're contributing to the Rogue Valley.
And this is not only for SOU students, but for the entire community. And,
That's correct.
And can you give us a brief rundown about how this started and how this came to be?
President Mary Cullinan, when she first got here, wanted to do a kind of an academic fair for SOU students. And over the years, it's evolved. It's gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's gone way past her vision of this now. She's admitted that this has really gotten big. And so we really are reaching out to the community as well as our own students and faculty and staff to attend to see the accomplishments of our faculty and our students. And our students have done some amazing things, amazing things.
And you were, we were talking earlier, and you were telling me how a lot of students actually use this as their capstone experience.
Right, a lot of faculty members organize panels for their students to present their capstone projects. So we have that in anthropology and sociology and biology and a lot of different areas. And then our biggest venue is the poster session on this Thursday at 12 noon to 1:30. We'll have 115 posters and students standing next to their posters. And what a poster is, it's a graphical representation of their research or their community project. And so people from all across the community are invited to come. There's free parking on campus, and it's just an amazing event to see students who are very nervous at the beginning, getting their posters all set up, and they're all very nervous, and then people come and start talking to them, and all of a sudden the nerves just fall away, and they're just into their project because they know that. They know that. And they love what they do, and then at the end, they're kind of like, they're a little cocky now, you know?
Yeah,
At 1:30, I've done this.
Right.
And I'm pretty cool for
Right.
doing this. And it's great to see that transition with our students.
And some of the other things we were talking about is the musical events. There's a lot of people from the music department who participate, and they'll just kind of show up randomly.
Right. Well, we have all the performances are in our program, but as students are walking across campus, there'll just be musical performances in front of the library, in front of the student union, in the library rotunda. They'll be all over the place. But you can get us online at the just come to the SOU homepage, sou.edu/SOAR, and that the full schedule's there. And we invite the community to come, high school students to come. We have high schools coming from all across the Rogue Valley to attend this event on Wednesday and Thursday.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, yeah.
And for those of us who are students here already, we just have to figure out how to fit it into your schedule because there is a lot going on.
Yes.
Again, look for these wonderful programs listing what's coming up, and visit the website, and everybody get ready to soar.
Right,
yeah,
exactly.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
The student-produced news magazine, The Jeffersonian, is on its way with a new episode. SOUndbyte's Sean Monahan reports.
The Jeffersonian is a news magazine developed by students at Southern Oregon University and is in association with Southern Oregon Public Television. John Steckel, the director of the Spring 2014 episode, discusses what the news magazine is about.
The Jeffersonian is about life in what they call the state of Jefferson, which is basically Southern Oregon and Northern California. This next episode is going to be called Take 3, which is also the third episode. We're going to be doing a showcase where we're going to bring up all the films that have happened over the past 100 years. And then we're going to talk about the industry here, as well as where we think our technological and industry is going to be going to.
The crew will be capturing technical elements, including animation, to make it a well-rounded episode. This news magazine provides great airing opportunities for local programming, as well as students learning professional crew positions and gaining new skills.
This show will be aired on Southern Oregon Public Television. Every time that we do the Jeffersonian, we're setting the bar a little bit higher, so depending on what they choose for the subject, it's going to be a challenge every time for the next group coming through.
The Jeffersonian Take 3 is scheduled to air on SOP TV this summer 2014. You can also connect with the production status and crew at www.facebook.com/JeffersonianTV. This is Sean Monahan reporting for SOUndbyte.
We'll be right back with a look at sports.
And we'll be taking a look at some events that are annual favorites here in Southern Oregon.
Each fall, an opportunity arises, so full of possibility that only one place is the right place to pursue your education. Southern Oregon University offers over 30 majors and nearly 100 areas of focus, from business to education, criminology to the arts, nursing to digital media, and a dozen intercollegiate sports from soccer to football, basketball to wrestling. Faculty, experts in their fields, guide students in research, community learning, and provide individual attention. Students from many backgrounds are engaged in the arts, service, campus activities, and all share a passion for learning. In a unique bioregion complete with sun, snow, and cultural opportunities, is a university that provides graduates with the skills for success.
Welcome back. I'm Elliot Anderson.
And I'm Chantel Munoz. We now head to Kristen Shanehair with a look at sports.
The Track and Field Cascade Conference Championships were this past weekend. SOU athletes came ready to compete. Chloe Welch has the inside scoop.
Track and field laced up for this past weekend's Cascade Conference Championships. Amelia McGuinn has set the bar high for herself. This past week at practice, she seemed determined to cross the finish line first at the championships. McGuinn's a versatile athlete who's broken many school records. Her events include the 400 and 100-meter hurdles, both relays, and the 100-meter dash. McGuinn shared her thoughts before the meet.
And I am not nervous because I've done this before and I'm looking forward to it.
McGuinn competed in the heptathlon, where she placed second. She anchored SOU's 4x400 meter relay team, which placed second as well. Their time now stands as the 15th best in the NAIA and can qualify for the NAIA Championships, which start May 22nd.
I'm really excited to go and win. Our coaches have done a really good job at the workouts they've given us, so I've had really tough weeks going to good meets, such as Oregon Relays, racing against girls that are really good to push me. Both of our teams, men and women's, have a good shot at placing in the top 3. Our men should win.
Overall, both men's and women's teams did a fantastic job this weekend. As expected, the men's placed first. Now they have 7 CCC titles, matching Concordia for the most. The women's team placed 4th. McGuinn's shining moment occurred in the 400-meter hurdles, where she beat her previous school record. This is Chloe Welch reporting for SOUndbyte.
Amelia has another year left here at SOU, and I'm sure her marks and times will continue to improve. SOUndbyte Sports crew geared up to have an exclusive interview with Athletic Director Matt Sayer to discuss the recent talk of the new track and field and new rec center. Blueprints have been laid out, money is being funded, and the university is now ready to take action.
The rec center is approved, so there's $17 million for the rec center. The rec center money is coming from students here who have decided to tax themselves up to $90 a quarter, depending on how much it costs.
Along with the new rec center, the university is getting ready to welcome a new track and field. Football, soccer, and lacrosse are some of the sports that will use the new turf field, which will be completed soon.
So the track and the field have to be done by this fall, so probably about mid-September.
The combined total for all these new renovations is around $40 million. Looks like the future students of SOU have a lot to look forward to. I'm Kristen Shanehair reporting for SOUndbyte Sports.
Thank you, Kristen. As the year begins to warm up, several outdoor events will bring people from around the region to Southern Oregon. Beginning Thursday, May 22nd, the Rogue River will roar with sounds of engines as the annual Boatnik Festival comes to Grants Pass. Boat races, parades, and carnivals will be just a few of dozens of events full of entertainment for all ages. The 55th annual Boatnik Parade begins at 10 a.m. on Saturday the 24th. The whole event wraps up on Memorial Day, Monday the 26th.
And another annual favorite is now the Uncorked event, featuring local wineries. All 19 wineries in the Applegate Valley are participating in this year's event. Participants can buy tickets online for $39 and choose one of 4 starting wineries. The Uncorked event allows attendees to visit as many wineries as they like, and each winery will feature a wine for tasting and a food pairing. The Spring Uncorked event is Sunday, May 18th.
And that's all for our broadcast here today. Thank you for joining us here at SOUndbyte. I'm Chantel Munoz.
And I'm Elliot Anderson. Good night.